All right. The New York Football Giants, win total 6.5, over minus 160. There's some sevens out there. Last year was a horror show. 2 years ago, they went to the playoffs. Last year, 3-13 straight up, 7-9 ATS, 10-6 to the under, -3 in the turnover margin, 19 takeaways, 22 giveaways. Football Outsiders had him the 25th ranked offense, 21st ranked defense, 26th rush defense, second worst special teams. It was a ton of injuries. Remember, there was that one. Remember the Monday night game against Denver? Eli had no one to throw to, but they still won the game. Marshall's gone. JPP's gone. They get Solder, Jonathan Stewart. They bring in Ogletree as well. The big acquisition, well, they acquire Barkley in the draft with the second overall pick. So I thought maybe some people thought they'd go quarterback, but apparently they like Webb as well. They did take the kid out of Richmond, Laletta. So strange team, Teddy. Everything went right 2 years ago. They spent all that money on defense, and they had a great defense, and they were winning low-scoring games, and everything went wrong last year.
Yeah, and what happens when everything goes wrong? All the coaches get fired, and there's a brand new staff. And in my mind, that's when you start with the Giants offseason, it starts with the new head coach in Pat Shurmur, the new offense coordinator in Mike Shula, and the new defense coordinator in James Bettcher. Now, Shurmur's a guy, the bright offensive mind, certainly an up-and-coming young head coach. And then, you have Bettcher as DC. Shurmur worked the Vikings last year. He was the guy that made Case Keenum great. Bettcher is a guy who is expected to be very aggressive on the defensive side, not a guy with previous coordinator experience. And then you have Shula, the son of the NFL's all-time winningest coach. He spent the last 5 years in Carolina as their offensive coordinator, served as the quarterback's coach before that. And frankly, the offense wasn't that good under Shula. They never finished in top 10 in total offense. They never finished better than 19th in passing yards with Cam Newton. Admittedly, he runs the football. They did lead the league in scoring in 2015, and they went 15-1 and lost the Super Bowl. But I don't know that Shula, in my mind, is a guy who has bet-on material coming out of the gate for Eli Manning and this Giants offense. And we start to talk about Eli Manning, Pauly. There are a number of concerns for a quarterback who is now 37 years old and has shown clear signs of decline in each of the last two seasons.
Just like Flacco. There go the stats every year. 37, as you mentioned, last year, 26th in quarterback rating behind Brissett and just above Trubisky. The QBR, similar decline, goes down, down, down. You worry about his relationship with OBJ. And, yes, you have Barkley, but, Teddy, you got to have concerns about the offensive line, who was horrendous last year, and that's been the last 2 years. Last year, they were 27th rushing the football, and they couldn't run the ball 2 years ago either.
Yeah. And, of course, so what did they do for the offensive line? They made Nate Solder the highest paid offensive lineman in the league. Yes, they needed a left tackle, no question. I don't even know if Solder's an above average guy, And then they acquired, what's his name? Patrick Omama from Jacksonville, the guard. And then they added in the second round draft choice in Will Hernandez out of UTEP. So 3 potential new starters for this offensive line. Does that immediately make the offensive line better? No. It's a work in progress. It is a unit worth paying attention to. And if they can't block, Eli's going to get crushed. His QB rating is going to be down. Saquon Barkley's not going to have room to run. And it's going to be another long season for the Giants. You look at Eli, and of course they didn't draft another quarterback behind him. They're confident Davis Webb as their backup for Eli Manning. If he gets hurt, they're in trouble. And Manning stayed healthy before his career. We'll give him credit for that, even playing behind some dicey offensive lines. But when we look at this team offensively, there are still a fair few questions, even with a ton of skill position talent. Yeah, Saquon Barkley is a unique talent. OBJ is an incredible player. Eli Manning is probably a Hall of Famer. They have some talent, but getting the ball to that talent in space, in my mind, a major question mark for the Giants coming into the 2018 campaign. And that's why they're lined as a sub-500 team.
Didn't take a quarterback early, took a quarterback late, Lalette in the 4th round, which they're just like the Jets taking a quarterback every year. I thought it was an egregious error not to put Webb in there at the end of the season. Shame on the New York fans who threw a fit when they went to Geno and thought, you can't bench Eli. Tank. Go 2-14. Well, who cares with Eli Manning? Put someone else there and see if the Webb kid can play. We never saw that. So they take the kid out of Richmond in the 4th round. I like the pick of Hernandez in the 2nd round as well. No pass rush to speak of last year either. No heat on the quarterback, couldn't protect the quarterback, couldn't run the ball, and didn't have a pass rush. And we mentioned JPP out the door to Tampa Bay. Thoughts on the schedule?
Well, you look at the schedule right here. The Giants, the NFC East teams play the AFC South and the NFC South this year. So they'll get some warm weather games in the mix. The 2 extra games for the Giants, Chicago and at San Fran. And those are worth noting. All right. Chicago, a team that's white hot in the markets early on. Nothing but wise guy money supporting the Bears. I think they're going to be a lot better than last year. And considering Eli Manning's QB rating was right next to Mitch Trubisky, you can understand why. The other one, San Fran, another team that was weak last year and is expected to be much, much better in 2018. So the 2 extra games for the Giants, they're both a fair bit tougher than you normally find for a team coming off a 3-13 campaign. And that's a big part of the reason why the Giants are lined in that 6.5/7 range, as opposed to being lined as a 500 team. They're not a 500 team, and this is a tougher schedule than other teams in this division, which, again, you don't expect for a team coming off a last-place season.
How about out of the gate? Jacksonville, playoff team. At Dallas, tough game week 2. At Houston, Watson and Watt back. Saints at home. At Carolina, the champs, the Eagles at home on a Thursday. Then they go to Atlanta on a Monday night. Then they play the Redskins at home, and then it's the bye week. Oh, this could go sideways in a hurry, Teddy.
In a hurry. And then they come out of the bye and travel to San Fran. So I'll put it to you this way. There's not that much that I like about the New York Giants coming into 2018. If I'm playing the Giants, I'm playing them under the total, and they're a team that I would be more inclined to fade than to get involved with on a week-by-week basis until I'm convinced, A, that offensive line is good, and B, Eli Manning has something left in the tank. We'll debate that when it comes to shot clock time. Like the show? Help us keep the lights on. Please make sure to comment, share, and subscribe to all the Sportsbook Review videos. Thanks so much. Best of luck. Enjoy the game.